felt so drained and stressed out at work or after work? Well, I see people nodding. So what I can say here is you are not alone because I have also had the same experience. To be more precise, on an autumnal day, it was an autumnal Monday, the 4th of October, 2021. I had to attend 7 meetings from 8:30 to 12 o'clock. Starting from the fourth meeting, I started to feel that my brain could not process any further information anymore. In the afternoon afterwards, I started to feel, I started to have this strange kind of headache inside my head. It felt like high-speed trains were running around in my head, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, and it went on and on repeatedly. I decided to cancel all further meetings in that afternoon. Yes, there were still some meetings in the afternoon. And my inner voice told me that I should try a self-test for occupational burnout. So I checked out a self-test questionnaire on a German hospital website, and the result told me that I was in a very alarming state before having a burnout. I went to see the doctor the day afterwards, and he gave me a sick note for 2.5 weeks, which would then later on be extended for 2 further weeks. So in total, I had to stay away from work for 33 days. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guest, Lara. Maybe you might have the question, why and how did I get to that situation in the first place? From my own self-reflections, I have two main factors or reasons to tell you. The first reason was in 2021, I wanted to have some more time for my side hustle. So I asked my boss if I could reduce my working time from 40 hours to 28 per week. That was approved by my department, but some weeks later, my boss came to me and asked me if I could get or if I could take over two more projects. So it was before one project for 40 hours, and from 2021, 3 projects for 28 hours per week. I told my boss this wasn't going to work. I would have some problem. People would get angry. And all he could say was that he had no other choice. And he asked me to be patient for a while, just for a while, and he even allowed me to leave things undone. In reality, I was challenged by several requests from all the projects, all the colleagues in all the 3 projects I had. People came to me, and every time when I was in the meeting, I had the feeling that people were unhappy, people were angry, they were dissatisfied with me. The number of unread emails in my mailbox also skyrocketed from 500 to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 within a couple of months. Also, more meetings caused by more projects stole my precious productive working time. And at the end, I just spent a lot of time attending the meetings, and I couldn't do what I should have done instead as an engineer. That was something that happened several months before that strange headache kicked in. It was an external factor. Now, let's come to the second factor. It was an internal factor. I have always known by myself for several years that I have no passion for my engineering work. I have been doing this job because it was something relevant to what I studied at school. And in addition, I also had no other idea what I should do instead to earn for a living. And this has been going on and on for over 16 years. This feeling of unfulfillment at work have been probably collected year by year, day by day. And at the end, they have been converted into stress in my body and my mind. All I have, they have been into, sorry, I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yes. And the size of the stress might have been quite big enough back then in 2021, so that it had a very enormous negative impact on my personal well-being. So what kind of consequences did these two factors have? The external and the internal factors that caused the stress. I started a few months before that strange headache kicked in. I started to feel drained at the end of every single working day. I also felt helpless, hopeless, and trapped in a very big mountain of tasks and assignments. And even after a long holiday, I couldn't get back to work. I felt so exhausted even on the very first day after that holiday. And I started to need more classical music in my free time. I started to have less energy to deliver a speech here at Toastmasters. All these were the signs telling me that something wrong was going on inside myself. And I had to do something to stop it before it got too late. Those 33 days out of work was one of the hardest times in my life. But it was also an opportunity for me to reflect about my past and look for the solutions for my present and future. The greatest thing that ever happened to me during that difficult time was the decision to listen to my body. All the symptoms I had back then were the messages from my body, from my lovely body, telling me that my life was not going into the right direction, and I had to do something to stop it. If this might ever happen to you someday, we don't know. Always remember this. Listen to your body, because your body never lies. Mr. Toastmaster.